So, burnout is a state of psychological, emotional, and mental exhaustion, often caused by excessive stress, usually generally through the workplace and often through challenges we have at home as well. And I suppose it's characterized by feeling drained, having a negative outlook on life, and just generally feeling psychologically, emotionally, and physically exhausted. So burnout can happen for multiple reasons. As I said, but burnout can be physical, it can be mental, and it can be emotional. So at a neurological level, if you've so much stress, so much overwhelm coming into your life, it will cause havoc with your nervous system, which will then manifest itself within the world as well. So what we need to be aware of is the amount of stimuli, the amount of strain, the amount of challenges coming into our life so we can manage that better in our everyday lives. Knowing you're close to burnout, I believe, is one of the most challenging things to know because if it's clear and you're feeling burnt out, people will tell you, you will feel it, you will see it yourself, and your performance in terms of work, in terms of how you are in the world, will be very obvious. Maybe your emotional state, you'll be angry with your kids, you'll be irritated and frustrated. But if you're sort of close to burnout, it can be quite challenging. And I had this situation myself last year. I had an awful lot of things coming into my life. Um, but luckily enough, great opportunities. I was doing a TV show. I had my corporate work. I was doing work in the prisons and the schools, trying to give back to society as well. And I was saying yes to too many things. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm feeling a little bit off, not feeling great, not feeling joy, not feeling light. And I think that is a sign that you're getting close to burnout or that you're on the way to burnout. But I think at the end of the day, we need to have an awareness of our emotions, of how we're speaking to ourselves, how we're acting in the world as well, and our physical state to know that we're on the way to burnout. But it's really important to keep an eye on yourself and then asking other people about it as well. When we think of burnout in terms of depression and anxiety, depression and anxiety are labels, just like burnout, and really underpinning those are symptoms. So, symptoms of depression, for example, is lethargy. It's a negative outlook on the world. It's rumination. Your thinking isn't clear. Whereas anxiety, the symptoms underpinning anxiety, it could be bodily sensations, fearful thoughts, fears about the future, and agitation, bodily agitation as well. So really, there are the symptoms that underpin both stress, both anxiety and depression. And when we think of burnout, again, it's just a label, but there is symptoms that underpin that as well. So whereas it's not the same as depression and anxiety, many of the same symptoms that underscore many psychological disorders can play a role in burnout, especially when we feel overwhelmed. Yeah, it can be really difficult in the workplace. And I often find with burnout, it tends to be in certain workplace settings where people are dealing with other humans who are in challenging situations. And what I often find is, especially people that are sensitive, especially people that are compassionate and trying to help others, that they put other people first and don't look after themselves. So, what I would say to people, and this is especially if you're really trying to care for other people in some way, you've got to look after yourself as well. And whether that's at home with the kids, whether that's in the workplace, you've got to really look after yourself because if you don't look after you, you will have nothing to give to other people. So, what I would say in a workplace environment, we've got to be highly aware of the stressors, the challenges that are coming into our lives, but how we are responding to those challenges, how we are thinking about those challenges, how we are feeling about those challenges. And again, it comes back to awareness. There's a great way of doing this will be to ask other people, speak to other people as well. What challenges are they undergoing as well in the workplace or at home? But it's really important to keep some awareness of what is going on so you can look after yourself. And I think one of the best tools when it comes to challenges in the workplace and at home, the word no can be our best friend because, especially when it comes to people pleasing, Many people are prone to people pleasing. We say yes to things, we think we're going to be able to do it, but then when it comes to the time, we have overstretched ourselves and we're not looking after ourselves, and that can lead to burnout. So give yourself a bit of time and say, let me look at my calendar and get back to people so you can navigate those challenges a little bit better. The essence of this idea, this concept beyond resilience, is that we use the challenges of life as the fuel to learn and grow. One of the challenges I found was that I said yes to too many things. I wanted to help people, I wanted to build my own business, and I was saying yes to this, that, and everything else. But what beyond resilience is for me, it's looking at the challenge, right? Here is a challenge, and how can I grow as a result of that challenge? So, as I've mentioned before, no has become my best friend. So, I prioritize the things that are most important to me, whether it's for business or life, and I'm able to use that. So, what I'm basically doing is I'm using the challenges of people and things trying to take my time, but I'm creating boundaries around that. And this can be boundaries around other people, this can be boundaries around certain things and situations that you find yourself in. But creating boundaries is really, really key. But the essence of Beyond Resilience, I suppose the catalyst for me, I struggled massively with anxiety in my life that led me to a life of addiction. And it was my Achilles heel. It was my kryptonite. Anxiety was my kryptonite. But through this idea or this practice of Beyond Resilience, anxiety has become my superpower, because anxiety is still going to come into my life. I'm still going to get overwhelmed. I'm still going to have challenges. But when anxiety comes into my life, I use that as a cue to breathe, to move, to go for a run, to take a time out so I don't feel overwhelmed, so I won't go into the space of burnout. So it's basically using the challenges as a cue to implement some tool to learn and grow and remove yourself from overwhelm and burnout that can come into your life. So really what it's about is evidence-based tools, practical and tangible, to help people to navigate the challenges, reduce overwhelm, reduce burnout, and live life in a much more joyful and happier way.